I'm Yuki. I'm Japanese and I live in Melbourne, Australia. Even though I'm Japanese, I couldn't dress myself in a kimono until I was 29. I started running about 2 months ago through online lessons with my teacher in Osaka. In this video, you can watch me dress in kimono while I talk about Japanese culture, including kimono rules, Kyoto culture, and how kimono can be passed down through generations. I became more interested in Japanese culture after moving overseas and working as an online Japanese teacher. My students often asked me questions about Japan that I couldn't answer. That made me want to learn more about my own culture. Now I'm learning about kimono and tea ceremony here in Australia. This video was filmed in July, which is a winter in Melbourne. That is why I'm wearing 6 socks and slippers today. Looks a bit weird, but please forgive me. I hope you enjoy this relaxing kimono talk. While I'm waiting for my teacher, I'm preparing the towel that I will use under my kimono. I usually take a kimono dressing lesson once a week through Zoom. My teacher is in her middle 20s, but she has already been dressing in kimono for more than 8 years. She is close to my age, but she is very experienced. I was introduced to her by Hikari, who teaches the Shu-Ha-Ri here in Melbourne. I'm also planning to attend one of Hikari Ikebana workshops soon. I hope I can make a video about the experience too. Now let's begin the lesson. My teacher is going to Bon Odori dance festival today, so she is wearing a yukata. I'm practicing with a kimono. I now understand the basic order of how to dress in kimono, so I try to dress by myself while my teacher checks the difficult parts and helps me when I need it. My goal today is very simple. I want to dress quickly. Last time it took me about 1 hour to put on both the kimono and the obi. Today I am hoping to finish in about 45 minutes. Of course, the time can change depending on the type of kimono, the type of obi, and the person's experience. The white clothing I am wearing now is a kimono underwear. Unlike normal clothes, a kimono is not usually washed at home. After every time it is worn, so we wear underwear underneath it to protect the kimono from sweat and natural oils from the skin. Next, I'm wrapping towels around my body. This is called hosei or body padding. With Western clothing, it often shows the natural shape of the waist, chest, and the body. But with kimono, a smooth and straight shape is traditionally considered beautiful. The body is shaped more like a cylinder. For this reason, towels are placed around areas such as our waist and back. They are filled in the natural curves of the body and help the kimono fall smoothly. The way people use padding can be different depending on their body shape and their teacher. I'm still beginner, so my teacher has showed me a simple method. Many beginners start by learning to wear a yukata because it has a simple structure. However, the main reason I started learning kimono dressing was because I wanted to wear a kimono to my tea ceremony lessons. I started learning tea ceremony in Melbourne in May 2026 this year. Some of the students came to the class wearing kimono. They looked so beautiful. I thought one day I would love to attend my tea ceremony lesson in kimono too. That was what inspired me to start learning how to dress myself. When I lived in Japan, kimono felt like something we only wear for special occasions. For example, coming of age ceremony, weddings, or formal celebrations. It was also something that another person would dress me in. But kimono was also one of the everyday clothing in the past. First, I wanted to become comfortably wearing casual kimono by myself. Then, little by little, I would like to learn which kimono are suitable for different occasions. My teacher and I are close in age, so we often talk about many different things during our lessons. On this day, we are talking about how many people wore their yukata at a summer festival. When wearing kimono or yukata, we first place the right side on the garment against your body. Then you place the left side over it. So when the kimono is finished, the left side is on top. In Japanese, this is sometimes called migimae. The word can be a little confusing even for Japanese people. The opposite way, with the right side on top, is traditionally used when dressing a person who has passed away. My teacher told me that she saw several young people wearing their yukata the opposite way the summer festival. Their hairstyle and obi looks very beautiful and professional. That's why she was surprised to see the color closed incorrectly. Of course, the fashion changed over time. People should also be free to enjoy clothing in their own way. However, I think it is also important to understand the meaning behind traditional form before changing it. In Japanese traditional art, martial arts, there is a concept called Shu-Ha-Ri. Shu means following your teacher's instruction and learning the basic form. Ha means understanding the basic, then learning from other idea and developing the form. Ri means moving beyond the original form and create your own style, expressing yourself fully and changing sometimes without understanding it are not quite the same. First, we learn the meaning, then we learn the basic form. After that, we can enjoy finding our own way. Perhaps this is one way to show respect for a culture that has been passed down for many generations. The clothing I'm wearing now is called a nagajoban. A nagajoban is worn between the underwear and the kimono. It helps protect the kimono from sweat and national oils. It can also be seen slightly along the collar and through the sleeve, so it helps create the finished appearance of the kimono. The white underwear worn closest to the skin is usually washed after its use. The care of the nagajoban depends on the fabric and materials. Under the kimono, we have several layers: the underwear, the nagajoban, and finally the kimono. It takes a little time, but these layers help create the special shapes and beauty of kimono. Now the topic changed and we start talk about the Kyoto dialect. Have you ever visited Kyoto? Many people imagine Kyoto was quiet, elegant, traditional, and beautiful. However, in Japan, there is also a common stereotype that people from Kyoto do not always say their true feeling directly. People from neighboring Osaka are often known for expressing their feeling clearly and directly. In Kyoto, people may sometimes communicate in more indirect way. Of course, not everyone from Kyoto speaks like this, but there was one moment when I thought, yes, I really am from Kyoto. One day someone near me was speaking very loudly. I did not say, the person is noisy. Instead, I said in Kyoto dialect, あの人よう喋りはるわ. That sounds like the person constantly talk a lot. The sentence sounds gentle and polite, but what I really meant was the person is speaking very loudly and it is a little noisy. Instead of saying something negative directly, I placed my real meaning inside a softer sentence. I did it without even thinking. At the moment, I realized how much my Kyoto background has influenced the way I speak. Kyoto expression can be difficult to understand through grammars alone. You also need to understand situation, the tone of voice, and the feeling behind the words. Sometimes it can feel like learning another language. During the Japanese summer holidays, my teacher was also working on the project to introduce traditional Japanese culture to children. The children could learn about kimono, manners, tea ceremonies, and ikebana. In tea ceremony, the lines of the tatami mat can be used to remember where to sit or where to place an object. Adults may think that sounds difficult, but my teacher said that children carefully counted the lines of the tatami and tried very serious to remember everything. My grandmother on my mother's side also wore kimono. However, when I was kids, I thought kimono belonged to my grandma's generation. It felt difficult and far away from my own life. Now I think that if children have ever a small opportunity to experience kimono or tea ceremony, Japanese culture may feel much more familiar to them. To keep our culture alive, we do not always need to teach everything perfectly. Sometimes the most important first step is simply giving people a chance to experience it. The room is becoming warm, so I was trying to open the window, but it did not open at all. So I decided to ask my partner down for help. For some reason, the window still did not open, but I decided to ignore it and continue dressing. I am now reaching behind my back to smooth out the wrinkles. When wearing a kimono, extra fabric is moved toward the side. This helps the front and back look smooth and neat. The white item I'm using now is called the dejime. This is wider than a normal cord. It helps hold the nakajuben or kimono smoothly against the body and reduce the wrinkles. There is many different tools used in kimono dressing. For example, koshihimo cords, the dejime, obi-ita, and obi-makura. To be honest, I still cannot perfectly remember every name and purpose. At that moment, I'm learning the order with my body. I remember at this point I used this item. Now I am finally putting on the kimono. Here comes Leo, the golden retriever. Leo is a 2-year-old boy and his weight about 38 kilograms. We welcomed him into the family about 1 month ago through Golden Retriever Rescue Organization. He loves people and other animals. He is a very friendly and energetic boy. However, Leo has one small problem. He draws a lot. In Australia, it is not always easy to find a cleaner who understands how to care for kimono. So I'm feeling a little nervous about Leo's draw getting on the fabric. At the moment, everything seems safe. Then Leo noticed some car lights outside. Someone is coming home, so his attention moves away from me. Leo has now safely left the room. The kimono I'm wearing today was given to my mother by my grandmother. My mother is about 163 centimeters tall. I am about 158 centimeters tall. Our body size are slightly different. However, kimono are not divided into as many detailed sizes as Western clothes. By adjusting the hold at the waist called the Shu-Ha-Ri and changing the position of the waist called, one kimono can sometimes fit people of different height. Of course, not every one kimono will hit every person, but compared with many modern clothes, kimono can often pass down more easily between generations, from my grandmother to my mother's, and now from my mother to me. This kimono was once in Japan. Now I'm wearing it here in Melbourne, Australia. It feels very special to think that one piece of clothes has traveled across countries and generations. I also really like this color. From this point, I need to concentrate more carefully. A kimono often looks more elegant when the shape becomes slightly narrower towards the feet. I adjust the length and the position of the hem, and then I hold everything in place with a waist cord. The back of the neck, the collar is not placed tightly against the skin. A small space is left open. This is called emon o nuku. The moment of space can change depending on the kimono, the person's age, and personal preference. I used the size of my first as a guide. That is what my teacher taught me. However, even when the space looks good at first, the collar sometimes moves closer to my neck while I'm dressing. So I often look in the mirror and ask myself, is the space still there? Has it become too small? The kimono I'm wearing today is made from wool. It is warm and suitable for winter. However, the fabric does not fade easily. This makes me a little more difficult for a beginner like me to adjust. I also need to move my arms behind my back many times to remove wrinkles. We do not normally spend much time adjusting fabric behind or back in everyday life. After I started learning kimono dressing, I realized that it requires more flexibility in the shoulder and arm than I expected. People in the past did this as part of their daily life. I think that is amazing. Putting on a kimono in the morning would suddenly help wake up both your body and your mind. The kimono is now on, so it is time to begin the obi. I'm becoming more comfortable with the kimono itself, but I still find the obi difficult. There's many kinds of obi, for example, Fukuro obi, Nagoya obi, and Hanhawa obi. Today I'm using a Nagoya obi. Nagoya obi is shorter than Fukuro obi. It can be worn with casual kimono and with some slightly more formal kimono. Today I'm making the square shape of the bag called an ota iko musubi. First I prepared the obi makura and wrapped it with the obi age. The obi makura is a small cushion that supports the lights shaped of the otaiko. The obi age covers the cushion and its cord. A small part of obi age can be seen above the obi, so it also adds color to the whole outfit. I bought today's obi from a kimono shop in Fitzroy, Melbourne. I brought several obi from my family home in Kyoto. However, many obi has embroidery or special design that need to appear in the correct place on the back. As a beginner, I found that difficult. I did not want a difficult obi to make me avoid wearing kimono, so I chose an obi with a pattern across the whole fabric. At this stage, wearing a kimono regularly is more important to me than wearing everything perfectly. I think that is also an important part of being a beginner. The shape on the back is not already made. An obi begins as one long flat piece of fabric. While wrapping it around the body, we hold it, tighten it, and create a shape with our own hands. I am learning a method where I create the otaeko directly behind my back. There are also methods where the shape is made at the front and then moved along the back. However, with my teacher method, I hold and shape the obi behind me from the beginning. I cannot see what our hands are doing. I need to move both hands behind my back and control the fabric by touch. This is very difficult for a beginner. The long kimono sleeves also get in the way when I move my arms. The flat board I am placing inside the obi is called an obi-ita. It helps keep the front of the obi smooth and prevent wrinkles. Even when I wear the same kimono and the same obi, the finished result is never exactly the same. The position of padding, the height of the waistcoat, the way I remove the wrinkles, the angle of the collar, every small detail changes the final appearance. Western clothes already have a finished shape. The kimono begins a flat fabric. Each time we wear it, we create a shape that fits your body on the particular days. That is why kimono is difficult, but that is also what makes it so interesting. Now I'm placing the obimakura behind my back and adjusting the otaiko shape. The obimakura has a correct direction and position, so I need to check it carefully before moving it around to my back. When I lift my arms to create the obi, the kimono itself can smoothly move upwards. It is difficult to create the kimono when the obi is almost finished, so it is better to check the kimono carefully during each step. My teacher checked the shape of otaiko and the length of the hanging part, called the tare. I hold everything in place with temporary cord. Before I know it, there are many cords hanging in front of my body. Finally, I tie the obijime. The obijime is the cord that goes across the center of the obi. It adds color to outfit, but it also has an important job. It helps hold the obi shape securely in place. Today, I'm using an orange obijime. After tightening it firmly, I remove the temporary cord. Then I arrange the obi again. The knot of the obi-age is placed inside the obi, while a small amount of fabric remains visible. Creating this small and then beautiful shape is quite difficult. With the kimono, beauty is not always about showing everything clearly. Sometimes the beauty comes from allowing only a small part to be seen. Ta-da! Finally, I did it! My goal was to finish in 45 minutes, but it actually took me about 1 hour. The fabric around my chest is lifting slightly. I'm also still not fully confident with the obi, and I need to teacher to check it. There is still many things I need to improve. However, 2 months ago, I did not even know where to begin. After taking one lesson each week, I'm slowly becoming ever to dress myself in a casual kimono, I would give today's result about 75 out of 100. A kimono is not only a beautiful piece of clothing from Japan's past, it is also a particular garment that can be adjusted for different body shapes and passed on through generations. At the same time, the wear of color is close to the shape of the obi, and many other small details follow traditions that have been passed down for a very long time. I'm very enjoying learning the meaning behind these details while also learning how to dress myself. I will continue sharing my journey as I learn more about tea ceremony, kimono, and other parts of Japanese culture. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Have you ever worn kimono? Was there anything in this video that was new to you? Please let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in Japanese culture, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you again in the next video. ありがとうございました。バイバーイ。